The opening verse of this week's Torah portion says, "Go to the place which God will choose to dwell there." This is referring to the temple. It's interesting that the Torah does not directly mention Jerusalem by name, but in the literal sense, that is what it's referring to, the place God chose above all other places. However, there is another explanation, which gives this sentence a novel twist. The Baal Shem Tov reads this verse in a way that is particularly relevant to all of us at the start of a new year. He explains, go to the place is not only about Jerusalem, and it's not only about the temple. It's a current message about any place on this planet where a Jew goes. That is the place where God chooses to dwell. The words "in the place" mean any place, wherever you make a space for God. So one Saturday night, Jack finds Joe on all fours searching on the floor under the street lamp, about half a block from the synagogue. "Did you lose something?" Jack asks. "Yeah, my watch," Joe replies. "Where did you lose it?" Over by the synagogue." Jack is astounded. He looks at Joe in amazement and says, "So why are you looking here for it? The synagogue is close to 2 blocks away." Joe looks up and says, "Yeah, but the light is better here." This may be a joke, but it happens more often than we realize. We often have the same mentality. As we approach Rosh Hashanah, we reflect upon Teshuvah, return to God from all our misdeeds. And the verse on the topic says, "And you will seek God from there and find him." In fact, we read about Yisroel on Rosh Hashanah in the Torah reading. He says God heard the cry of the youth where he was at. The search for God begins right here, wherever you are right now. Don't get distracted by whatever state you're at. Whether or not you feel like you measure up as a good Jew, U-turns are not illegal in Judaism. They're an essential part of the message. There is a Talmudic story. All the wise men of Athens asked Rabbi Joshua, "Where is the center of the world?" He pointed with his finger. "Here," he said. They said, "Prove it." So he said, "Okay, bring a rope and we'll measure it." Essentially, he told them, "Look, wherever you are, that's the center. Don't believe me? Use a rope to measure. Wherever you measure, this will end up being the center." The old saying goes, "Better a bird in the hand than 2 in the bush." Don't give up the lesser certainty for a more promising outcome that may end up with nothing. Maybe a more conservative person, someone with a higher risk tolerance, might be enticed to go for the 2 in the bush. I'm not a maven on statistics and chance. I don't bet on odds, although Chabad rabbis are entrepreneurs and we do take big risks doing what we do. We're not financial investors. So I'm not saying this as financial advice or career-wise. Everyone's risk tolerance is different. But financial choices aside, 1 mitzvah in hand is better than 2 in the bush. A lot of people think, "I'd like to do more Jewish things when I get married, or when we have children, or when I'm back home, or when I go to Israel." Those sentiments are all wonderful, but those are mitzvahs in the bush. The Medrash says, when a mitzvah comes to hand, yes, that's the expression, do not wait. When a mitzvah comes to hand, do not wait. Strike while the iron is hot, even if it's a small mitzvah, and it can be done bigger and better someplace else. Don't push it off. Do it now. The Baal Shem Tov taught us, the place God will choose is the place you are right now. This is the time. This is the moment. This is the month of Elul. Seize the opportunity when the king is in the field, when you can go and greet God, and you don't have to go to the palace. You don't have to go through any guards or have to fight for an audience, so to speak. God is close to us. God is near us in our heart. All we have to do is reach out and do that mitzvah. I'm Rabbi Yisroel Bernath. Shabbat Shalom.